Hello and welcome to the session on normal probability curve, skewness and kurtosis. We may begin with the normal probability curve. The normal probability curve is based upon the law of probability discovered by French mathematician Abraham de Moivre. In the 18th century, he developed its mathematical equation and graphical representation. Any symmetrical bell-shaped type of curve is known as a normal curve. The concept of normal curve is very basic in statistics. This is because the frequency distributions of many natural events have shapes similar to that of a normal curve. In other words, many physical and psychological phenomena, when shown in a frequency distribution curve, will resemble the normal curve. Take for instance, the weights of the girls in a school, the heights of men in a church, the achievement scores of students in a class, etc. If you get these measurements and plot them on graphs, they will be similar to the normal curve. What are the characteristics of a normal curve? The normal curve is symmetrical. A normal curve is symmetrical with its maximum height at the mean. It is often described as a bell-shaped curve, while some describe it as a well-weathered monopile. The normal curve is unimodal. Since there is only one maximum point in the curve, the normal curve is unimodal, that is, it has only one mode. The maximum ordinate occurs at the center. The maximum height of the ordinate always occurs at the central point of the curve, that is the midpoint. In the unit normal curve, it is equal to 0.3989. The normal curve is asymptotic to the x axis. Although the height of the curve continues to decrease as one moves further and further from the mean, it never actually reaches 0. Therefore, the theoretical range of the normal curve is from plus infinity to minus infinity. The height of the curve declines symmetrically. In the normal probability curve, the height declines symmetrically in either direction from the maximum point. The points of influx occur at point plus or minus 1 standard deviation. The normal curve changes its direction from convex to concave at a point recognized as point of influx. If we draw the perpendiculars from these 2 points of influx of the curve to the horizontal x axis, it touches at a distance 1 standard deviation unit from above and below the mean. 100% probability. The total area under the normal curve may be considered to approach 100% probability interpreted in terms of standard deviations. The normal curve is bilateral. The 50% area of the curve lies to the left side of the maximum central ordinate and 50% of the area lies to the right side. Hence, the curve is bilateral. What do you know about skewness and kurtosis? A fundamental task in many statistical analysis is to characterize the location and variability of a data set. A further characterization of the data includes skewness and kurtosis. Skewness is a measure of symmetry, or more precisely the lack of symmetry. A distribution or data set is symmetric if it looks the same to the left and right of the center point. Kurtosis is a measure of whether the data are peaked or flat relative to a normal distribution. That is, data sets with high kurtosis tend to have a distinct peak near the mean, decline rather rapidly and have heavy tails. Data sets with low kurtosis tend to have a flat top near the mean rather than a sharp peak. A uniform distribution would be the extreme case. The histogram is an effective graphical technique for showing both the skewness and kurtosis of data set. Skewness. The first thing you usually notice about a distribution's shape is whether it has one mode or peak or more than one. If it is unimodal or has just one peak, like most data sets, the next thing you notice is whether it is symmetric or skewed to one side. If the bulk of the data is at the left and the right tail is longer, we say that the distribution is skewed right or positively skewed. If the peak is toward the right and the left tail is longer, we say that the distribution is skewed left or negatively skewed. Look at the two graphs below. They both have a mean of 0.6923 and sigma 0.1685, but their shapes are different. In the first graph, skewness is equal to minus 0.5370, and the second graph, skewness is equal to plus 0.5370. The first one is moderately skewed left. The left tail is longer and most of the distribution is at the right. By contrast, the second distribution is moderately skewed right. Its right tail is longer and most of the distribution is at the left. You can get a general impression of skewness by drawing a histogram, but there are also some common numerical measures of skewness. Some authors favor one, some favor another. In fact, these are the same formulas that uses in its descriptive statistics. You may remember that the mean and standard deviation have the same units as the original data and the variance has the square of those units. However, the skewness has no units, that is, it is a pure number like a z-score. The skewness for a normal distribution is 0 and any symmetric data should have a skewness near 0. Negative values for the skewness indicate data that are skewed left and positive values for the skewness indicate data that are skewed right. By skewed left, we mean that the left tail is long relative to the right tail. Similarly, skewed right means that the right tail is long relative to the left tail. Some measurements have a lower bound and are skewed right. For example, in reliability studies, failure times cannot be negative. Here are a few examples of different types of skewness. The first graph is an example of negatively skewed distribution or skewed to the left. Here, skewness is less than 0. The second one is an example of normal distribution or it is symmetrical. Here, skewness is equal to 0. But in the third one, it is a positively skewed distribution or skewed to the right. Here, skewness is greater than 0. In the table, college men's heights are given as example. In first column, heights in inches are given as class intervals. In the second column, class marks are given, and the third column, frequencies are given. Here are grouped data for heights of 100 randomly selected male students. A histogram shows that the data are skewed left, not symmetric. You have to compute the skewness. Begin with the sample size and sample mean. The sample size was given. N is equal to 5 plus 18 plus 42 plus 27 plus 8 is equal to 100. Mean is equal to 61 into 5 plus 64 into 18 plus 67 into 42 plus 70 into 27 plus 73 into 8 divided by 100. Thus, mean is equal to 9305 plus 1152 plus 2814 plus 1890 plus 584 divided by 100. That is, mean is equal to 6745 divided by 100, that is 67.45. Now, with the mean in hand, you can compute the skewness. In table, class marks are given in first column, frequencies are given in second column, and in third column, class marks are multiplied by frequency. Finally, the skewness is minus 0.1082, but wait, there is more. That would be the skewness if you had data for the whole population, but obviously there are more than 100 male students in the world or even in almost any school. So, what you have here is a sample, not the population. You must compute the sample skewness. Here the formula is G2 is equal to root of n into n minus 1 divided by n minus 2 into G1, that is root of 100 into 99 divided by 98 into minus 2.6933 divided by 8.5275 raised to 3 by 2, that is minus 0.1098. Interpretation. If skewness is positive, the data are positively skewed or skewed right, meaning that the right tail of the distribution is longer than the left. If skewness is negative, the data are negatively skewed or skewed left, meaning that the left tail is longer. If skewness is equal to 0, the data are perfectly symmetrical, but a skewness of exactly 0 is quite unlikely for real world data. So, how can you interpret the skewness number? Bulmer suggests this rule of thumb. If skewness is less than -1 or greater than +1, the distribution is highly skewed. If skewness is between -1 and -1/2 or between +1/2 and +1, the distribution is moderately skewed. If skewness is between -1/2 and +1/2, the distribution is approximately symmetric. With a skewness of -0.1098, the sample data for student heights are approximately symmetric. Now, let us learn about kurtosis. If a distribution is symmetric, the next question is about the central peak. Is it high and sharp or short and broad? We can get some idea of this from the histogram, but a numerical measure is more precise. The height and sharpness of the peak relative to the rest of the data are measured by a number called kurtosis. Higher values indicate a higher, sharper peak. Lower values indicate a lower, less distinct peak. This occurs because higher kurtosis means more of the variability is due to a few extreme differences from the mean rather than a lot of modest differences from the mean. The same thing in another way. Increasing kurtosis is associated with the movement of probability mass from the shoulders of a distribution into its center and tails. You may remember that the mean and standard deviation have the same units as the original data, and the variance has the score of those units. However, the kurtosis has no units, that is, it is a pure number like a z-score. For univariate data y1, y2 and up to yn, the formula for kurtosis is equal to sigma ni is equal to 1 into y1 minus y dash into 4 into n minus 1 into S4, where y dash is the mean, S is the standard deviation and n is the number of data points. Are you aware of the alternative definition of kurtosis? The kurtosis for a standard normal distribution is 3. For this reason, some sources use the following definition of kurtosis, often referred to as excess kurtosis. Here, kurtosis is equal to sigma ni, that is 1 into yi minus y dash into 4 into n minus 1 into S4 minus 3. This definition is used so that the standard normal distribution has a kurtosis of 0. In addition, with the second definition, positive kurtosis indicates a peaked distribution and negative kurtosis indicates a flat distribution. The reference standard is a normal distribution which has a kurtosis of 3. In token of this, often the excess kurtosis is presented. Excess kurtosis is simply kurtosis minus 3. For example, the kurtosis is actually the excess kurtosis. A normal distribution has kurtosis exactly 3, it is called mesokurtic. A distribution with kurtosis less than 3 is called platykurtic. Compared to a normal distribution, its central peak is lower and broader and its tails are shorter and thinner. A distribution with kurtosis greater than 3 is called leptokurtic. Compared to a normal distribution, its central peak is higher and sharper and its tails are longer and fatter. Kurtosis is unfortunately harder to picture than skewness, but these illustrations should help. All three of these distributions have mean of 0, standard deviation of 1 and skewness of 0, and all are plotted on the same horizontal and vertical scale. Look at the progression from left to right as kurtosis increases. Moving from the illustrated uniform distribution to a normal distribution, you see that the shoulders have transferred some of their mass to the center and the tails. In other words, the intermediate values have become less likely and the central and extreme values have become more likely. The kurtosis increases while the standard deviation stays the same, because more of the variation is due to extreme values. Moving from the normal distribution to the illustrated logistic distribution, the trend continues. There is even less in the shoulders and even more in the tails, and the central peak is higher and narrower. How can we deal with skewness and kurtosis? The following example shows histograms for 10,000 random numbers generated from a normal, a double exponential, a Cauchy and a Weibull distribution. Normal distribution. The first histogram is a sample from a normal distribution. The normal distribution is a symmetric distribution with well behaved tails. This is indicated by the skewness of 0.03. The kurtosis of 2.96 is near the expected value of 3. Double exponential distribution. The second histogram is a sample from a double exponential distribution. The double exponential is a symmetric distribution. Compared to the normal, it has a stronger peak, more rapidly decay and heavier tails. That is, you would expect a skewness near 0 and a kurtosis higher than 3. The skewness is 0.06 and the kurtosis is 5.9. Cauchy distribution. The third histogram is a sample from a Cauchy distribution. For better visual comparison with other data sets, we restricted the histogram of the Cauchy distribution to values between -10 and +10. The full data set for the Cauchy data in fact has a minimum of approximately -29,000 and a maximum of approximately 89,000. The Cauchy distribution is a symmetric distribution with heavy tails and a single peak at the center of the distribution. Since it is symmetric, we would expect a skewness near 0. Due to the heavier tails, we might expect the kurtosis to be larger than for a normal distribution. In fact, the skewness is 69.99 and the kurtosis is 6,693. These extremely high values can be explained by the heavy tails. Just as the mean and standard deviation can be distorted by extreme values in the tails, so too can the skewness and kurtosis measures. Weibull distribution. The fourth histogram is a sample from a Weibull distribution with the shape parameter 1.5. The Weibull distribution is a skew distribution with the amount of skewness depending on the value of the shape parameter. The degree of decay as we move away from the center also depends on the value of the shape parameter. For this data set, the skewness is 1.08 and the kurtosis is 4.46, which indicates moderate skewness and kurtosis. Many classical statistical tests and intervals depend on normality assumptions. Significant skewness and kurtosis clearly indicate that data are not normal. If a data set exhibits significant skewness or kurtosis as indicated by a histogram or the numerical measures, what can we do about it? One approach is to apply some type of transformation to try to make the data normal or more nearly normal. The Box-Cox transformation is a useful technique for trying to normalize the data set. In particular, taking the log or square root of a data set is often useful for data that exhibit moderate right skewness. Another approach is to use techniques based on distributions other than the normal. For example, in reliability studies, the exponential, Weibull and log normal distributions are typically used as a basis for modeling rather than using the normal distribution. Let us summarize what we have discussed so far. This chapter deals with normal probability curve, skewness and kurtosis. Any symmetrical bell shaped type of curve is known as normal curve. The concept of normal curve is very basic in statistics. This is because the frequency distributions of many natural events have shapes similar to that of a normal curve. In other words, many physical and psychological phenomena when shown in a frequency distribution curve will resemble the normal curve. The skewness for a normal distribution is 0 and any symmetric data should have a skewness near 0. Negative values for the skewness indicate data that are skewed left and positive values for the skewness indicate data that are skewed right. By skewed left, we mean that the left tail is long relative to the right tail. Similarly, skewed right means that the right tail is long relative to the left tail. The height and sharpness of the peak relative to the rest of the data are measured by a number called kurtosis. Higher values indicate a higher, sharper peak, lower values indicate a lower, less distinct peak. This occurs because higher kurtosis means more of the variability is due to a few extreme differences from the mean rather than a lot of modest differences from the mean. Now, you can try to answer the questions given here. Define normal probability curve. What are the characteristics of a normal curve? Briefly explain skewness with examples. Explain positive skewness, symmetrical skewness and negative skewness. Discuss the term kurtosis. Explain platykurtic, mesokurtic and leptokurtic distribution. Hope that you may go through these reference books for further reading. Statistical methods, concept, applications and computation, written by Agarwal YP and published by Sterling Publishers Private Limited, New Delhi in the year 1990. Statistics in Psychology and Education, written by Garrett H.E. and Woodworth R.S. and published by Wakils, Pfeffer and Simons Private Limited, Bombay in the year 1969. Statistical Reasoning for the Behavioral Sciences, written by Shavelson R.J. and published by Allen and Bacon, London in 1976. Elementary Statistical Methods, written by Gupta S.P. and published by Sultan Chand and Sons, New Delhi in the year 1990. Thank you for watching this program. We can meet again with another topic. Till then, take care.